Hey everybody, and welcome back to Thursday with MC Radio. We are knee deep in the middle of our series, Mom Leaders Who Are Making It Happen. And right now we are going to get down to business. So to all of you incredible ladies, I have a question. In regards to the pandemic, what have you seen evolve in your business? How they changed your roles at work, and how are you tackling these changes?
My business has changed significantly since coming back from maternity leave. I missed a whole 4 months of the pandemic while working, while everybody else was working, I guess. I didn't really see these changes happen like on a progressive grid. For me, it was one day I was selling printers and then I came back and people just were making excuses not to buy printers because they had their lives on fire. So I was a fish out of water coming back from maternity leave because 4 months of not working, let me tell you, you just like lose it all. But then additionally, you're trying to figure out how to navigate these waters. And my colleagues had already been doing so for 4 months and I had to get up to speed quick. So what I did is I just met with both my field reps, Deb and Andy, to figure out, okay, where are we at? Also, I rely on people like Chloe, who's my best friend and does the same job as me, thankfully, because I can call her and be like, okay, I might be a complete idiot, but what the heck does this mean?
Right now in the acquisition space, Maura, is the change of doing business online. Virtual selling is huge right now, especially in acquisition sales. We have to think outside the box and we have to reach out to our customers and we have to figure out a different method of how to do that because they're all in the same situations that we're in. You also want to make it as comfortable for people to work and talk with you from home because you have to be cognizant of their family lives as well. You still have to get the job done at the end of the day. So we all need to learn the same skill set. I mean, we're all sales reps right now working from home. Some of the things that we've been doing is LinkedIn Navigator. We do the SRE tool. So it's like a mailer for marketing that lets us know if they're interested in some of our products. And then picking up the phone and calling is very critical and crucial. Having to think outside the box, most definitely.
So as I had mentioned, November 1st brought this new role to me. And so in general, the world of print and managed print, while I had exposure before as a generalist, leader, this has really brought print and the challenges with print and actually also the promise of print full circle. So for me, I have really had to both ramp, but also attempt to understand the business amid this very changing landscape. So the pandemic has put office print on its ear, as we know. We probably reached a low point where printed pages were down more than 50% year over year. So really trying to think through, what do we do while we can't meet with customers face to face? How do we keep print relevant? How do we stay top of mind in the eyes of our customers has been tricky, team. Onset, we thought work from home would be explosive, and for some reason it wasn't. Why? And as it turns out, executives are actually trying to restrict print from home because of security concerns largely. So we really have the upper hand here, team. We just have to stay present in the minds of customers. And I have said, there is no one in the marketplace right now, team, that can do it better than we can because we have the portfolio for consumer and commercial. We are the only organization that can bring this to bear so extensively. So my point is, get ready. We will be present.
All right, so talk to us about the transition from being in the corporate world to a stay-at-home mom, and what have been the challenges and what has been the beauty in it all?
Motherhood for me was not something possible. I was okay with being the cool auntie, gave the kids back, or the cool friend. Husband and I were always like, we're going to travel the world, we're going to build a professional career. And when I got pregnant, all of that changed. I definitely struggled in the beginning with motherhood, leaving professional life behind and coming into this new world of 100% mom. I did experience a little bit of postpartum anxiety, and quite frankly, it doesn't just disappear. You deal with it every day. Getting up, going to work, putting on your professional clothing and being on the computer, speaking out and talking to your clients, having those adult conversations. Of course, I missed all of that. Now, you're changing diapers, you're breastfeeding, you're doing everything for this little baby. And the beginning was really hard. But as the days went on, with practicing my yoga, talking to other mothers, and that really helped get over that hurdle. But it wasn't pretty at first. There's times that you were like, I give up. I can't do this. It's not for me.
Great feedback and insights from people here in the technology industry. I can tell you, I agree with these ladies 1,000%. A lot has evolved when it comes to how we have to talk with our customers, how we have to advise them and help them make sense of the world, and then how that's also forced us to step up our game. So fantastic. All right, so statistically speaking, women in the US spend almost double the hours a week on unpaid work, such as childcare and housework. So how do you think that's affected women in this pandemic, and then how that has affected you in your household?
The thing is like I tell the team, my kids, that we're like a team here. Everybody has a place here in this household. We all have to pitch in to make things work. From the kids grabbing me my coffee midday to, Nathaniel doing laundry. And I'm like, if one thing falls off, the whole thing will flip over. And it has flipped over. I've lost my cool a couple of times. I've cried several times because it was pretty stressful. And then those thoughts come across your mind too, like, would I have to quit my job to take care of my family if things don't go back to normal? Am I able to fulfill this job and be a good mom at the same time? It's all the little things. It's the picking up, the disciplining, and then the current situation, the climate in the world right now also affects my kids. I want them to know that things are going to be okay. So, being a mom also on top of the chores and on top of taking them to the doctor's appointments and everything else, you have to be there like a counselor and emotionally there for them to support them.
I feel both a sense of stress and empowerment at the same time, particularly for those with younger children. The requirement to be very hands-on or to at least be providing tremendous oversight to the day-to-day work is tremendous. And I often reflect back on that period when our boys were under the age of 10, and make no mistake, I think we would have had to have hired outside help. There's a undeniable stress, I think, associated with that. But we have to give ourselves a bit of a break in that to say, listen, we are all doing the best we can in this situation. But what it has forced is extraordinary efficiency. I think that is very real. Conversely, there's a level of empowerment, which is I can move somewhat seamlessly, not always, between requirements that I have for myself. Sometimes they're personally imposed, in terms of maintaining the household or being head of household, and then also work. The ability to successfully balance that at the end of the day, where you say, hey, listen, I did it. I nailed that day, right? So things went well. And not every day will be like that, but there can be a real sense of empowerment that says, once again, maybe I can't have it all every day, but maybe I can have a lot in this one lifetime.
My household has recently shifted since the pandemic. Philip actually helps out so much more with household chores because like I said, we were on the go before. So I would kind of clean here and there in between things, and then we would just leave and do our thing. Now it's like, no, we're at home and this is dedicated time for chores. And so the kids have a list of chores to do. I do my chores. Philip does his chores. We all pull our weight. But even outside of that, I think there's other things within my career that I do that I'm not getting paid for, that I dedicate a lot of time to, and it's because I'm passionate about it. So just think that once I sit down and I prioritize my schedule and look and see, okay, I absolutely love, making people feel like they have a career path here at HP. So I'm going to take time to work with the Master Your Career program next year. Things like that I think are super important.
I know for me that the chores and the childcare, in addition to my job, have truly been crippling at times. So my hat's off to any woman who is dealing with this, especially you single moms out there. So, we really want to wrap up with one great question about hope. So professionally speaking, what do you hope to get out of these changes?
What I personally hope to get out of all of this is just more opportunity for Rio Rancho. HP has some really amazing people in Rio Rancho. We have some movers and shakers, as Mara would say, and I think that should absolutely be showcased. Right now, everybody's working remotely, so why not bring opportunity to, basically the sales hub for HP?
Perspective. you have to adapt, you have to flow, you have to grow. This is a learning situation right now. And I mean, how often do we get to be at home with our kids while they're growing up and they're right here in front of us? We miss a lot of those hours and times with them being gone at school. And I actually get to be here. So just adapting to know that it's okay to not be perfect at work, adapting to know I'm not going to be perfect here at the house, and also just being appreciative of the time that I'm able to spend with my family.
One thing that is on my to-do list for 21, and I'm so glad you asked, Mara, because you can be a big part of it. So Mara becomes the go-to, as does Chloe, for all things really working on your brand and social selling. So I spent a lot of years believing that we have so many points of entry in our life that it is difficult to manage all of them, right? So back in the day when you had voicemail and hundreds of email every day, and now you have these other social media forces. So for me, I've said, hey, listen, I'm going to be a little bit of a follower in this way, but we're going to get it right and be able to manage this optimally. So what I hope to get out of this over time is, number one, a keen understanding of the U.S. print and supplies business, as well as managed print. And the cherry on top for me would be a little bit more in terms of branding, because I am new in my role, and some visibility. And I do think that's a means that we can accomplish that. But I'm committed to finding a way to make it work in a way that works for me and is very authentic with how I want to, portray or work with the team. So look at that.
Oh, wow. I was not expecting any of those answers. It's just pretty interesting that these are all high-performing women when it comes to their actual jobs and careers. So maybe not a shock that they all shared growth mindset, whether that's Sandy talking about how to show up digitally and how to make that work for her, or even Chantel mentioning Rio Rancho. It is so near and dear to all of us, but there's an incredible energy and culture that we bring every day. So, really appreciate day 4 and all of your insights and about the business. And we're looking forward to getting a dose of inspiration from you all tomorrow. Bye for now.